Oh no, Pocono. Yep, Pocono in NASCAR 15. Well, pretty much any flat track in NASCAR 15 is an adventure to say the least. However, first off, I want to give a shout out, since this is the return to the NASCAR 15 career mode since Indy 500 month, to Kyler over on Twitter. He sent me a pretty cool thing that he recreated one of my career mode schemes in NASCAR 15. So I definitely appreciate that, Kyler. I appreciate people doing throwback paint schemes in the same game that I'm playing to me. It seems very weird, but that's what he did, so thank you, Kyler. So that's deserving of a shout out for sure. You may notice that we've got a different paint scheme now. We're going to talk about that in just a second. Just a refresher for the driver's standings. We're 29th, but with a win, we're in the chase. Unless, 16 or 17 drivers get wins this season. And yes, we picked up a new sponsor, Menards, for 9 races at $33,500, in addition to Mechanics Wear and Freightliner. 3 sponsors on the car, but obviously Menards is the big one. So, let's head to Pocono, let's take a look at the starting grid, and get this thing underway. So the starting grid will start off with Clint Boyer on the pole, Dale Jr. on the outside. Let's scroll down through the rest of the field, see where your favorite driver is. But unfortunately, my favorite driver, and I'm not talking about Kyle Larson, I'm talking about me, is starting last. For whatever reason, the AI are a second quicker around this track than I am, and I'm not exactly sure how or why. But hopefully they have race pace that's a little bit slower, so that'll allow me to get up there and fight with them. But if not, we may be in for a long day. So, let's send it over to Mike Joy and Darrell Waltrip to get us started.
Hi everyone, Mike Joy and Darrell Waltrip welcoming you to the Tricky Triangle, the very unique Pocono International Raceway for today's Pocono 400.
Mike, this place is crazy fast. It's unbelievable how fast they're turning this 2.5-mile racetrack. Long straightaways. Watch these guys snake their way down through here as they try to pick a draft up off of each other.
Darrell, this race 100 miles shorter than last year. Will that make a difference?
It's going to make a huge difference. You can go flat out, but one thing you have to always remember, fuel mileage. Keep that in the back of your mind.
Right. If you run out of gas on the front straightaway here, it's a long way around this unique trioval.
All right, here we go. Pocono, starting at the back, 42 cars to pass. We'll see if this goes well. Cool sponsorship billboards in the background for some reason. I was distracted by those for a second. Here we go. Racing.
Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing on the Tricky Triangle, boys and girls.
Okay, thanks for that, Darrell. Oh, and Cole Witt decided to try to wreck me immediately before we even get to turn 1. Not a lot of fanning out going on. That'll probably happen as we come down in here into turn 1. All right, let's see if we can make up some spots here. Car understeering, and no, not going to be able to make up anything in turn 1. Hopefully they'll slow each other down in turn 2, but they're all 3 wide down into the tunnel turn for the first time. Let's get that car right down the bottom. Car's in the wall off of turn 2, but nobody wrecked. But we are going to get a run on Eric Almirola. Maybe dive to the inside, or maybe not. They're able to carry so much speed. I just don't know how they're able to do it. I certainly cannot. And they're pulling away once again. Down the main straightaway, over 200 miles an hour here. Easy. 209 going in. And there are cars fanning out, spreading out. 4 wide spin crash. Knew it was going to happen. And it looks like Regan Smith for sure is one of them involved. And they're still wrecking. Oh. So, yeah, that was a big wreck. You can just see, boom, gets spun, and then just they all pile in. I took to the outside safer barrier to avoid, and then they kept wrecking up top. Really, really wild wreck. As stupid a move as this probably is, we're going to take some track position early on. We're restarting 33rd next to Kyle Busch. Hey, Kyle. All right. David Reagan just ahead. Michael Waltrip as well. Here we go.
Just keep a good pace.
And bad wheel spin at the start.
Come on, man. I
Gonna try not to dive out of line. I shifted way too early there. The outside pole sitter is around to the inside. Dale Earnhardt Jr. The guy who won this race actually in real life this year, Ryan Blaney, are on the outside. We're gonna get turned to the outside wall.
Trying to get to your corner.
Somehow saved it. Trying not to get spun out by Austin Dillon. Mears is back around the outside.
Car up top, one back.
Don't really know how they pulled that off. Now Regan Smith is going to help me a little bit, even though we keep falling through the pack. We get here to turn 2 and see if things are going better or worse.
You're all clear.
In the first run, it looks like there's cars in the wall once again, but nobody wrecked. Good run on Gilliland. Going to allow us through down to the inside.
One back, coming high.
They're like 5 wide in turn 3.
Clear high.
And we're going to try to run right out next to the wall, and that ain't going to work because, well, I shouldn't say try.
4 seconds in front.
I should say my car went out there as I tried to overdrive the corner, just trying to stay up with this pack. Hopefully they wreck again here in turn 1, otherwise we may be in a little bit of issues trying to keep up with this pack as we run incredibly low through the corner, and nope, they're pulling away. So at a second a lap, how long do you think it's going to take me to get lapped? Hopefully we have some fuel mileage on this track. I'm not expecting to actually have an advantage in any way though, for whatever reason. So I figure since I'm 10 seconds back, I'm going to try a strategy. Ultimate Ultra Fuel Save Mode. Meaning I'm just going to kick the clutch in through the center of the corner until I feel the car's at a safe speed to just power on off of the corner. And that's how I'm going to drive Pocono, trying to just save as much fuel as humanly possible throughout the course of a lap. Clutch in, just completely have the engine off.
Let's go.
And then on the exit of the corner, just stab the throttle as we've had a crash. For whatever reason, no yellow. But J.J. Yaley was involved in that. Guess NASCAR heat rules apply now. Pretty sure I had yellows on, so whatever reason, a car spun and crashed, but no caution. And there are already cars in the pits that we've overtaken. So maybe our little lift and coast strategy is working effectively here. You can also notice that we're actually running faster than I was in traffic. I'm actually turning in better lap times doing this little strategy of mine. I'm going to see if it works out. It would be cool if I could do this enough that I could actually gain a pit stop on everybody. Oops. Should have lifted off a little bit more in the corner there. Still half a second faster than our best lap. And although that gap is coming down dramatically now. Now off of the corner. And we've got way more cars coming into the pits this time around. So we're going to make up some spots here. All the way up to 25th. And then clutch in. Get some debris on the way in for whatever reason. Brakes. Back on the throttle, accelerate out of the corner. Kind of slow through there. 3/10 slower than my fastest lap. 4/10 now. Almost half a second slower. I may have gone a little too slow in there. This is the one I really need to slow down for, is tunnel turn. Didn't quite get through there as well as I would have liked.
You won't run on fumes. Do it when you have to.
Yeah, we're still good. Spotter's starting to whine about fuel mileage, but I'm not too worried about it. We come out of turn 3 once again.
We can do this.
More cars peeling off into the pits.
Looks really good right here. Hit this lap.
That
Hit
we
this
will
lap.
pass.
I want you to come down pit road right now.
I think we're still good, Spotter. And lift and coast all the way into the corner. All the way through. On the throttle off. Hopefully we have a good exit here. Make up a little bit of time. Kind of. We're about a 10th off our fastest lap. Dale Jr. actually got out of the pits ahead of us. So this strategy
Fuel gauge, buddy. That'll tell you how many laps we've got.
It's going to be interesting to see if we can actually get to the end on it. Alright. I think we can make it one more lap on this. Just going to have to be really, really conservative on throttle input. Here we go. Coming around to pass a lot more cars.
Okay, let's go find your next victim. All right, I want you to pit this
Move
time.
all the
Hit
way
this
up to
lap.
5th spot. Use that clutch into turn 1. On the throttle. And we can pretty much clutch all the way through turn 3 because that's going to be us slowing
I'm
down.
really concerned about your fuel. You're running a little low.
This is really the last time we're really going to have to use the throttle. Brakes on. Okay, here we go. Gotta be so careful not to run out here. Alright, clutch in. And we can just ride on the clutch all the way down on the curbs. And drive her off into pit lane on the brakes as well as the clutch.
Check up.
Looks like you're running on empty.
We
Let's
sped
fill her
for
up with
sure.
starters.
We sped for
We wanna
sure.
get some-
Well, there goes that strategy. I failed because I went in at 70 miles an hour. It's a 55. So we're pretty much toast now. But we'll see what happens. I did right sides only with a full load of fuel. The fuel is coming by. We're going to have to make a stop.
Nice pit stop right there, just like we practiced.
Like I said, we got a real good car
Be
here.
shocked if
Just
we
take
don't see
care
the
of everybody.
black flag right here.
Okay, let's go. We got to step it up.
Yeah, there it is.
Too fast on pit road.
Sorry, pal, you've been penalized for speeding on pit lane. You'll have to do a drive-through penalty within 3 laps, or they'll stop counting your laps.
Well, that sucks. Yeah, we're last anyway. Oh well, we're gonna keep with the strategy. Just keep the clutch in. This time, let's try the pit entrance a little bit differently. I think that's gonna save us now is a yellow. It's the only thing that's really going to at this point. So we're gonna roll around the corner. And on the brakes now, hard on the brakes.
Don't
Hard on
forget,
the
there's a
brakes.
speed limit on pit road.
I bet I sped
We're not
again.
going to be allowed to pit this time. If you want to pit, you got to stick to the rules.
Well, we'll see. Pretty sure I got a speeding penalty at Pocono the last time I came here. Well, this is the look of my Menards car. I added some blue to it because Menards cars that have blue on them are sexy. And that doesn't happen very much. So, that's why I did that. Alright. Back out onto the track we go. Let's see if they ding me for having 56 miles an hour. No, they don't. So, no penalty that time. Though yellow would go a long way to helping me out here. But we'll see how it goes. I'm going to keep running the strategy and see if we can stay in this one. Okay, so I was actually able to pass a couple cars that came out of the pits,
They're waving
still
halfway.
using the
Come on, let's do this.
strategy. So there's some cars coming out of the pits. I'm going to keep the
Nicely done,
Doji
man.
Doge behind me as best I can. Now we're going to see how it is to race with this strategy.
Clear left
Get up
side.
into the wall. Gonna pass Chase Elliott though.
let's do this
Josh
now.
Wise is
Time
really
to go to
flying
work.
though. Not gonna be able to
Put it
keep
on
him
the left.
behind. But yeah, I'm using the clutch right as I get to that light, turning the car in and then jamming on the throttle. Oh, that
Three
was a
back,
bad
coming
corner.
low.
And we damaged the
Inside's
car.
clear.
Here comes
He's
Elliott.
charging.
I try to keep him behind as best I can. He almost went to the grass to try to pass me, but that's not gonna work.
Clear left.
And we're going to keep him out to the outside. Into the wall he goes. Okay. And there's a crash coming into the pits, it looked like. That certainly looked like a crash
Nice and
coming into the
easy.
pits,
Just
but
keep
apparently
doing
it
what you've
wasn't.
been doing.
Alright, on the clutch.
Looking low.
All the way into turn 1.
Low
The
side's
car is
clear.
just not staying down where I need it to.
It's coming low.
It's probably partly due to the damage and partly due to the fact that I
Stay on top, you're
have
good
got
right
way
there.
too much wedge in this thing
Car
right
3
now.
back.
The rear end is not turning the way I want it to. So clutch in. And McDowell shove it down
Car
in
up
there.
top, just looking.
He didn't quite make it, but Labonte's going to go around the outside, so we got passed
Right's clear.
by 2 cars at the same time there.
Left side's clear.
Now clutch in,
On the bottom, 3 back.
get right down next to the, or under the yellow line
Stay
there.
up top. Take it
Oh, that's
easy, buddy.
that
No rough stuff.
was
Nice and
a
smooth. Concentrate.
wall glitch
You're 1 lap down.
that doesn't result in a
Car
yellow.
up top, 3 back.
Not sure how that
Car
didn't
in
work.
front's heading to the pit. Closing up top.
Somehow Michael and the threat didn't
Car
get
up top,
taken
going
out
back.
in
Watch
that.
your mirror, he's coming up fast. Now you're
I
clear.
guess we're gonna have to drive the track normally At least right now, until we can get into the pits. We still only got a half tank of gas, so even though we're a lap down, it's not as bad as you think it might be. I wish I hadn't gotten into the wall there. That definitely did not help things out in terms of track position or in terms
work
of,
your way to the front.
you know, actually being able to drive the car. But I'm still feeling kind of good about us being able to at least not be last using this strategy. Because that's really what the strategy is. It's driving the race in a completely different way to try to make up time. And we're actually with the pack now again. And had we not gotten that penalty, we'd actually be way up in the front of the pack right now. Maybe not leading this thing, but we would have been at the front of the pack. And the car is just not wanting to turn in turn one at all. It gets down to the bottom and then just immediately wants to drive right into the wall. So lots and lots of understeer. And there's Logano, who still hasn't pitted for whatever reason yet. So he's still out and in the lead. He's going to dive to the bottom. Oh boy, woo doggy, into the wall.
Put it on the left.
The car's almost damaged. Logano's going to go by. Annette the Threat, who crashed with me.
Car in front's heading to the pit.
Trying to get to the bottom.
Looking low.
Here we go, trying to get underneath Hamlin, which we managed to do. So we stay on the lead lap for now, as Logano just came off into the pit lane. And on the clutch, into turn one. Yaley trying to spin me out. Now we get back on the throttle.
Well, you're low.
Still able to keep the leader Hamlin behind us because he's probably on old tires. We're still not in dead last either because of Annette directly behind.
Clear all around.
So things still progressing kind of
Clear on the inside.
the way I want them to.
He's charging. Stay high. Come on, man.
There
Keep
goes
fighting.
Annette underneath. The spotter's
Clear
upset
on the low side.
because he clearly doesn't understand strategy. Annette
go to
got
work
slowed
now,
up
buddy.
just a
Come on.
little bit there by Hamlin coming off into
Watch
the
your
pit
fuel.
lane.
You ready to dive in here, buddy? Need to pit this time. Get on pit road
So
this lap.
big draft off of Michael Annette. Like, we jump on the clutch. Keep the car rolling through the corner. We might have actually gotten through turn one decently for the first time today, which we do. Which we do. And now we're actually going to pass somebody. Mother of God. We passed
Looking
somebody.
really good, buddy. Stay on the bottom.
Oh boy.
Clear right side.
I was so hoping
Car
he'd
in
get
front's
wall
heading
glitched
to the
there.
pit.
I was so hoping he'd get wall glitched. So we're going to run around one more lap. As bad of an idea as it may be.
We can't go many more laps on this fuel.
The spotter is very upset with me. As we go around Michael Annette the Threat, things might be progressing in our
Okay,
way.
pit this time.
As
Pit
you
this
hear,
time.
10 laps to go. So it may be that everybody has to stop one more time, except for me, as I run the alternate strategy. So as we go down the Long Pond Straight, we've got probably just enough fuel to make it into the pits and stop. So on the clutch, roller through turn two, maybe a little higher than I want to be, and it's a lot slower than I want to be for sure. On the throttle,
Look at your fuel gauge for me. You ready to
on the
pit?
clutch, brakes at some point here, I think. It's a good place to do it. Roll it
Keep an eye on
in.
your speed. We don't need a penalty right now.
Alright, right sides again, full fuel load, wedge adjustment. Should be a 9-second pit stop. We'll be back out into the race to try to clutch, lift, and coast, whatever you want to call it, our way to victory here, or at least into a good points-paying position as we come back out into the fray. Let's
Great
see where
stuff, guys.
Oh,
In and out.
whoa.
It's all up to you now, buddy.
You're doing great, buddy. That pit stop's gonna make all the difference.
Why did
One
we
lap
spin out?
behind. Come on, buddy. We've got to work for that money.
The car just randomly spun out coming out of the pits. Well, now we're just going to have to bring that out. Sorry. Yeah. Well, it says it's lap 1. That's not the case, but we'll get an itchy arm and get this thing going for the end. Alright, we were actually a lap behind the race, so we got a wave around. So essentially, we screwed our strategy doing that, but whatever. I think we would have lost anyway. So now at least we're on even terms with everybody, so let's see if we can't get this thing going here.
You're doing it today.
Obviously no right
7
side
seconds ahead
tires,
to the lead car.
no left side tires. We haven't taken left sides all day. The same left sides we started the race with. But I think we'll be able to run flat out to the finish now.
Yeah, that's going to work. That's going to work.
So no
Stay right
lifting
there in
and
the draft.
coasting
Just
anymore.
tuck in right there.
It's going to be all about the race to the finish, and clearly I did not get through turn 1 good at all there. So we're going to have to really get her done here in turn 2. And the field is pulling away.
Car in front's heading to the pit.
What a shocker. Well, their
Leader's
car's
4 seconds in
pulling
front.
off into the pits. So is that going to cause issues? I would imagine it will here. Let's be a little bit cautious here. Just one car, 2 cars. Nope, it didn't cause any problems. It just gave us a few positions there.
Nice pass. 5 to go.
So the game mercy killed a couple cars for me. That's fine, I suppose. But it also means all the field is spread out here in turn 1, so it probably means we're not going to get cars crashing into each other at all. The car kind of fights me on the exit. We might have loosened it up a little too much now.
Leader's 6 seconds ahead. Nobody's going to pull over and make it easy for us.
Hey, you know what? I'm just going
Gotta
to
go
start
get
lifting
it.
and coasting anyway, because I feel like I was getting through the corners faster doing this. Nope. Turns
Keep her
out I
steady,
wasn't.
buddy.
Yeah, thanks, spotter. Alright, the 2 laps to go presented by Credit One
Two to go.
Bank. We've actually had the game mercy kill some cars for us, so we're up to 34th. We still got a half tank of fuel. Would there be a reason for a green-white checker, which I wouldn't expect at this point. Like I said just before I switched here, or cut, I'm just lifting and coasting now because I feel like I'm faster. As you can see, at a quarter of a second up on my fastest lap so far during this race. So apparently, clutching through the corners is the fastest way to do it at Pocono. Who would have thunk it? But coming up to the white flag this time around,
Final lap.
Tony Stewart is the leader. Don't remember if he has a win this season or not. It's not really going to matter here as we come to the white flag ourselves. The entire field is, of course, on the other side of the track, so not a lot we can do, but we can just kind of maintain this 28-second gap to Hamlin. Boy, I wish I hadn't gotten that penalty, because I feel like had I not had it, I think we would have been in a really fantastic position. But, oh well, there's 2 Pocono races in the NASCAR 15 season, so we will have another chance to try this. Or maybe I'll find a setup that's actually half decent. So I almost got into the wall once again. There's a good look at the good old Menards colors.
Checkered flag.
Tony Stewart pulls off the victory. And we're just going to clutch. You know what? I'm just going to clutch the whole way across the line. Because there's no way of losing 36th position or 34th or wherever we actually are. Just roll across the line. Checkered flag.
Well
There you
done.
go.
Did the best we could today.
Considering the competition, that wasn't a bad run. We'll work on your car for next week and the next race.
So results, Tony Stewart wins over Kurt Busch, Paul Menard, and Jeb Burton. We go down through the rest of the field. Look where everybody finished. Interesting race. Not very exciting from my perspective, finishing 34th. And the final car, J.J. Yaley, who we saw crash on the back straightaway in the early parts of the race. So that was NASCAR 15 in Pocono. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe for more NASCAR content, and we will see you in the next video.